Welcome in to Outkick, the show presented by Oddshark. Go to Oddshark for all your gambling and informational related needs. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis, and I also want to tell you, go to my friends at thehomeloanexpert.com right now. If you need a mortgage wherever you are in the country, go to thehomeloanexpert.com and get hooked up right now. They'll turn your rate into the 4s into a 2. It's time to save some money. Lots of you out there need to save some money. And the best possible way you can do that is by going to my friends at thehomeloanexpert.com. They'll let you skip several months of mortgage payments, and they'll help you save an absolute bundle of cash. So head there today and get rich while you can by saving money the best way that you possibly can going out there. Again, I am Clay Travis. Welcome into Outkick the show. We have much to get to today. We're going to talk in the rundown as we go through the day's activities. I got 4 different things we're going to get to. I'm going to tell you how to gamble on the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, which began on Saturday. 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. I'm going to tell you who I think the top 8 NFL quarterbacks are. We didn't get to that yesterday because I got onto a good run talking about the Pornhub findings from 2017. I'm going to tell you about the ridiculous decision by Dolly Parton to do away with the Dixieland or the Dixie Stampede. It's now just going to be called the Dolly Parton Stampede. Evidently, the word Dixie has become triggering, and so they had to do away with it. And I'm going to talk to you about what might be the last time you ever see me alive, snow. Snow is in the forecast, and we're all going to die in the city of Nashville. All that and more coming your direction. Appreciate all of you coming in to hang out. Let's get officially underway and roll through the day's activities here. All right. First of all, in the situation going on right now with the NFL divisional round of the playoffs, we got 4 kind of fascinating games because I think this is really intriguing. We're going to talk a lot about this on the show tomorrow. But you've got 4 different teams that have really proven quarterbacks. And to me, it's hard to pick against those 4 different really proven quarterbacks. And those quarterbacks, obviously, you got the Titans going up against the Patriots. You got Tom Brady going up against Marcus Mariota. You've got in the early game on Saturday, you've got Matt Ryan, who's pretty proven in the playoffs at this point, going up against the Eagles and their unproven backup Nick Foles. Then you got Blake Bortles on the road against Ben Roethlisberger and Drew Brees going against Case Keenum. Now, there are 4 guys there, obviously, that are insanely successful in the grand scheme of things, right? Tomorrow is Friday, whatever. It's going on Saturday. We're going to talk about this tomorrow on Friday's show, and then it'll be going on, all right? Tomorrow is Friday to me. Today is Friday to me because snow is coming, and effectively my life is over, so I can't even be concerned about other days right now other than these. All right, so we've got the divisional round going on. And the divisional round playoffs, let me check something really quick. I want to check on my phone and see what's shaking here. I don't know why my notification did not go out on Twitter. Did you guys get this? You guys didn't get the notification. I don't know why it didn't go through on Twitter. Is this an issue? Let me restart here. And did you get one? I mean, you might have got a notification on your phone, but right now, go check on my Twitter feed, somebody, and see if this show is showing up on the Twitter feed, because I'm not seeing it when I just scrolled into my Twitter feed. I'm not seeing the most recent show. It's just on Periscope notifications. Yeah, that's weird. So let me see if I can figure out what happened here on the Periscope notification. Maybe I did get shadow banned. Let's see if I can share the broadcast on Twitter. And let's see. I'm now going to try to tweet that out. See if it went out that time. This is crazy if it's not going out. Maybe I did get shadow banned. Check and see if it now got on through. Okay, I just sent it out. It just went out on Twitter right now. All right, so we're officially underway on Twitter. It's there now. Okay, I don't know why it didn't go out the first time. Usually it does, but I've taken care of that. All right. So much to get to. Let's go into these NFL. Let's go into these NFL matchups in general, because I do think they're actually really fascinating. If you guys, I want to get your opinion on this as well on both Facebook and Twitter. If you guys had to only pick one, if you had to only pick one game to watch, and I don't want you to vote on the teams that you like. I think the best of these games, and I don't think I'm being crazy on this, I think the best of these games is probably Saints-Vikings. If you're just looking at it, you're taking out your own individual rooting interest, because I think, and a lot of you are agreeing with me, that Saints-Vikings is the best of the divisional round playoff games, because I have no idea what's going to happen. You've got Drew Brees going on the road with the Saints. You've got a really proven offense, two great running backs in Ingram and Kamara. Obviously, Drew Brees, a first ballot Hall of Famer, able to sling the ball all over the field. And you've got the tortured history of the Minnesota Vikings franchise when it comes to winning big games. They're the really kind of the number one overall seed because they're the favorite, even though they're the 2 seed. And we don't know how Case Keenum is going to pan out. We really don't know. And so to me, that's really probably the most intriguing of all of the potential games going on, to see what exactly is going to happen with Case Keenum going up against Drew Brees. The best quarterback matchup, I honestly think, and I don't think it's just me being a homer, the best quarterback matchup I think is Marcus Mariota versus Drew Brees. Versus Tom Brady. And here's the deal. I think of all the players that are playing this weekend, Marcus Mariota has the least to lose and the most to gain. Let me explain why that is. Right now, Mariota is, if you go, and people are like, oh, look at Mariota's passing records. I watch every snap the Titans have played this year, okay? Mariota has legitimately had 4 touchdown passes dropped that you or I would catch. All right, that you or I would catch, and if we dropped them, you'd be like, damn, I can't believe we dropped those games, okay? Legitimately 4 touchdown passes dropped. That gets him up to basically 20 touchdown passes. This guy, the new number 1 draft pick, and he may end up being great, but Corey Davis has been a disaster. Corey Davis doesn't know what routes he's running. If you watch that playoff game, he ran the wrong route when Mariota got picked off against Kansas City. He ran the wrong route, and it was actually his defensive back who didn't clear the area that picked off Mariota throwing to Delaney Walker. He ran the wrong damn route. And if you go watch Mariota's interceptions, at least 7 or 8 of them this year, half of those are directly attributable to Corey Davis. The rest are attributable to really bad wide receiver play. Atrocious wide receiver play. So really, if you go back and you dissect the touchdown passes as well as the interceptions, Mariota should be around 20-10 this year. Not a great year, but he's been injured a lot and the offense has not been good. Where I judge a quarterback in the NFL is on 2 things. I think this needs to happen regularly. More people need to talk about it. Can you convert 3rd and 8? 3rd and 8, can you find a way to convert on 3rd and 8? And on top of that, how do you do when it actually comes to having the ball in your hands with a chance to win? This year, Marcus Mariota has more 4th quarter wins and more overtime wins than anybody else in the NFL. He's got 5. If the Titan defense had managed to actually make a play against the 49ers, he would have 6 because he drove them for a field goal. All right? The Titans only have 10 wins this year. So in half of their wins, without Marcus Mariota, they would have no hope to actually be able to do that, okay? So I think it actually plays into our favor here, this 13.5-point line. I've looked at this over and over and over again, and I don't believe the Titans can remotely cover Rob Gronkowski, okay? Gronkowski might have 200 yards receiving by himself. He might have 3 touchdowns. But I think the Titans need to play aggressively on offense. And what they've been able to do, if you look at the Titans games so far in the last 8 weeks, every game has been decided by a touchdown or less. So I think the 13.5-point line is way too high. I'm taking the Titans plus 13.5 and hoping that it goes over 14 by the time this game actually starts. Because look, I can run through the last several games. I want you to listen to this. The Titans aren't a very good team, all right? They don't have a lot of talent around Mariota, but I'm telling you, Santa Clay is coming through on this line. 13.5 is too many, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to click on the Titans schedule, and I just want you to listen to this, all right? I just want you to listen to the past several games, all right? The past several games with the Titans, this is, I think, kind of instructive of where they've been. All right, since they lost to Pittsburgh on November 16th, when Mariota had a bad game, Corey Davis was responsible for a couple of different interceptions by himself, all right? At Indiana, at the Colts, Titans win by 4. At Houston, Titans win by 11, or at home against Houston, Titans win by 11, and that was actually on a late Derrick Henry walk-off. At Arizona, lose by 5. At San Francisco, lose by 2 on literally a last play of the game field goal by the 49ers. The Rams lose by 4, beat Jacksonville by 5, beat Kansas City by 1. So basically, every game they have played since effectively Thanksgiving has been decided by 4 points or less, basically 5 points or less. So I think they're going to be really competitive against New England. I think this is a huge swing game, slingshot game. No risk for Mariota. If the Titans come out and get beat 35-10 and he throws 3 interceptions, everybody's going to say, what did you expect to happen? The Titans were on the road against the Patriots. The Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl. The Patriots are good. The Titans are not there yet, and so nobody's going to react. If Mariota goes in and plays well or plays anywhere near the same level that Tom Brady plays, people are going to say, wow. Because Mariota's 24 years old. He's playing his second straight game on the road. If by chance the Titans were able to steal this game, and let's say they played this game 100 times, I think the Titans probably win 15 or 20 times, then everything changes about Marcus Mariota, and suddenly everybody is in my camp. So I'm intrigued by this one. I love the Titans with a 13.5-point line there. I think it's too high. The Falcons on the road against the Eagles. I do not believe in Nick Foles. I do not believe in Nick Foles at all. I would like to get Atlanta when this one opened at 2.5. It's sitting right around 3, but I like the Falcons to go on the road and beat the Eagles. I really do. In the Jags-Steelers game, I think that the Steelers are going to blow the Jags out. I think the Steelers are going to crush the Jags. I think that Blake Bortles and his confidence is broken. He's thrown 5 picks. He threw for 87 yards against the awful Buffalo Bills at home. That was a woeful performance. They have no chance offensively. They're going to have to turn over Big Ben 5 times again like they did. I don't see that happening. I think the Steelers will stand up to the Jags, and I think the Steelers will win and cover the 7. Saints-Vikings, I'm going to go with Saints. I know that Case Keenum has been good all season. I know that they are playing at home. I know that this line continues to go out and that the Vikings are 5-point favorites, but I'm going to err on the side of taking the better quarterback in pretty much any game where it's a touchdown or less, and so I would go with Drew Brees in this game. Those are my 4 picks. I would go Saints +5. I would go Steelers -7. Love to get it at 6.5 if it drops there. I would go Titans +13.5. Love to get them at over 14. And I would go Falcons -3. Like to get them at 2.5. All right, those are all my picks for the games coming up this weekend. Yes, I'm picking the Saints over the Vikings. You say that I'm wrong. I say that you should learn how to use the correct "your" when you address someone who is more intelligent than you are, such is the case right now. Okay? Let's talk about these young quarterbacks. I said earlier we've got 4 proven quarterbacks that have a decent shot of getting in the Hall of Fame. Brady's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Drew Brees is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I feel like there's probably a good chance that Matt Ryan, before all is said and done, is going to end up in the Hall of Fame. And we know Ben Roethlisberger is a first ballot Hall of Famer. All 4 of those guys are outstanding. All 4 of those guys, I believe, are 33 or older. That means that there are 4 quarterbacks who are unproven. You've got Blake Bortles, Marcus Mariota, who just won their first playoff games. You've got Case Keenum, who's never won a playoff game but is playing at home. And then you have got Nick Foles, who's the backup to Carson Wentz. All right? Of these 8 guys that are in the playoffs right now, which of the 4 that are unproven and are not anywhere near Hall of Fame level, very young still, relatively speaking, all under 30, do you believe in the most? I believe in Mariota. And in fact, the other day, I ranked my top 8 young NFL quarterbacks. These are guys who are in their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th years right now in the NFL. Okay, I'm not ranking guys in their first year. Deshaun Watson, if you're a Texans fan, looked outstanding. But of all 4 of those guys right now who are still alive, I like Mariota the most. And I think most of you agree with me on liking Mariota the most. He's 24 years old. All right, here are my rankings right now for guys in their second, their third, and their fourth years in the NFL. Some of these guys still have games to play, like Bortles and Mariota. Number 1, notwithstanding his injury, I think if you were drafting top quarterbacks right now who have just finished their second, their third, or their fourth year, I think the number 1 draft pick right now would be Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz has shown the most. He would have been an MVP in year 2. I think he has to be the overall number 1 pick, okay? I don't think there's any doubt at all that he would be the number 1 pick. Number 2, a little bit controversial out there. I think even though he hasn't started very many games, and even though it's a little bit unfair to judge a guy who's in his 4th year as opposed to some of these other guys who are in their 2nd year, given how much they've had to start, Wentz is my first pick. My second pick is Jimmy Garoppolo. My second pick is Jimmy Garoppolo. I think right now, if you had these guys in the draft, I think Garoppolo would be the number 2 overall pick, all right? Number 3, I'm going with, and this drives everybody crazy because they haven't watched him play, Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota would be the number 3 pick right now, I believe, among second, third, and fourth year players who are quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I'd follow him up with Derek Carr. I would follow Carr up with Jared Goff. Then I would go with Dak Prescott, who has precipitously fallen off in year 2. I have significant doubts about Dak Prescott in years ahead. I would go with Jameis Winston, who has turned out to be a total head case. Who knew? On the sideline, picking fights. Teams 5-11 this year. Hasn't been reliable at all. Now in year 3, hasn't been close at all. I've got Jameis Winston at 7. And then I have got Blake Bortles at number 8 overall. I don't think anybody except for Blake Bortles' own mom and dad would take him any higher than 8. So I think that Bortles and Winston are at the very bottom of this list. Again, my top 8 quarterbacks right now at this exact moment based on the second, the third, and the fourth year. Okay, these are only guys who have played in their second, third, or fourth year. I go Wentz 1, Jimmy Garoppolo 2, Marcus Mariota 3, Derek Carr 4, Jared Goff 5, Dak Prescott 6, Jameis Winston 7, and Blake Bortles 8. That's the correct draft order. Anybody else who has any other rankings would be crazy. People want to ask about Bortles over Bridgewater is actually funny. We don't know about Bridgewater at all. Deshaun Watson's not ranked because he got injured, and also he's in year 1. I just don't think he started enough games. You can also make an argument that I shouldn't be ranking Jimmy Garoppolo because he's only started like 7 games in his career too. So you're working from a much shorter deck in terms of trying to figure him out. But that's the rankings that I would go with right now. We'll see what happens with Mariota this weekend and with Bortles this weekend, both on the road in the AFC. Not surprisingly, I expect, like everybody else, the Patriots and the Steelers to win, which is why that Jesse James catch non-catch was such a big deal. I expect that we will see the Steelers having to go on the road against the Patriots, and I think the Patriots will win and advance to the Super Bowl. On the NFC side, I think it's wide open. I don't believe in the Eagles, but it wouldn't stun me if either the Falcons, the Saints, or the Vikings advanced to represent in the NFC. I think all 3 of those teams are relatively even. And it wouldn't surprise me if any of them advance. All right, this is a ridiculous story. How many of you have been to the Great Smoky Mountains, to the lovely town of Pigeon Forge in the Great Smoky Mountains before? I'm sure that a lot of you have. I have been there many times in my life. I grew up in Nashville. It's an easy trip up to the Smoky Mountains, not far from Knoxville. And the vast majority of you, I imagine, will have been there at some point. If you have been to Pigeon Forge, there is a Dollywood there, which Dollywood is just like an amusement park. It's like Six Flags a little bit, except in the shadows of the Smoky Mountains. Dolly Parton owns it. There's also a kind of dinner review where they put on a show and you sit in an auditorium surrounding like a, what would you call that? Like a, almost like a rodeo. It's like a rodeo type show. If you've ever been to a place like medieval times, the Dixie Stampede is a show that a lot of people go to when they're in the Smoky Mountains, all right? And when I was a kid and I used to go to the Smoky Mountains, they used to have these like concrete enclosures with bears, and you could buy like a fish and throw it and feed the bears. I don't know if they still have the concrete mountains. They had a lot of putt-putt, a lot of go-karts. They also had like those mines, you know, where you could buy like a big bag of rocks, and then you would put it in like the washer, and you would go check and see if you found any valuable gems inside of your bag of rocks. Kids love this stuff, and so we would be there and hang out, all right? So Dolly Parton, in an unbelievable move, has decided to remove the word Dixie from Dixie Stampede because the word Dixie is evidently offensive now. And it just makes me want to sigh to such an extent. It's now called the Dolly Parton Review or Stampede or something like that. I'm not kidding about this. They are removing the word Dixie from the Dixie Stampede, and they have pulled it off all of their designs. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. And this, a lot of times people say, like, how does Donald Trump get elected? It's because of ham-handed decisions like these. I wrote my first book called Dixieland Delight. The word Dixie is not racist. Come on. They have insanely overreacted. Political correctness has taken this world and just thrown it all up in the air. This is such a total pussy move by Dolly Parton. Our rule in life here is DBAP. You cannot apply the word Dixie as an offensive term. Dixie is for the South. It's not racist. It's not anything other than a designation of a particular geographic region. And some of you out there, somebody just said my daughter is named Dixie. A lot of people are named Dixie. There's also, when I was a kid, I played Dixie Youth Baseball. There is my book. I'm looking at a book cover right now on my wall, Dixieland Delight. Do I need to just change my book title to Land Delight? I mean, this is just so patently absurd that it's one of the most ridiculous things that I have seen in a long range of stupidity. It is just beyond stupid, and this is real life. So if you wonder why Donald Trump is getting elected or how he got elected or who his supporters are, I think it's lots of people just throwing up their hands saying, is this really where we are as a country that this is not able to be referenced? I think that Dolly Parton should reconsider this. I think that her fan base, which is primarily a Southern fan base, should deluge her on Twitter and tell her that this is a absolutely ridiculous idea. I just don't even understand it. All right, final subject today. Snow is coming. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do the afternoon show tomorrow. I might have to take it off because if it snows, I have bought 2 sleds. I said yesterday I'm in charge of two of my boys. My wife has taken our oldest kid down to Huntsville, Alabama to space camp. That means it's just me and the 7-year-old and the 3-year-old, and we are going to spend all day sledding if this snow hits like it's supposed to hit. Up to 4 inches hitting in Nashville, or as men call it, 8.5 inches. And it is going to be an amazing amount of snowfall to see all in one place for Nashville. It's going to shut down the city. Everybody is going to have to take the day off. If we get the snow, then everybody is going to die. That's correct. And the city of Nashville is going to die and all its surrounding communities. And you probably won't see me do a show on Friday because I'm going to be chasing after the snow everywhere. So, shorter show today a little bit. I did all my picks. If you want to know what I'm gambling on, I've got the Falcons -3. I've got the Titans -13.5. I have got the Steelers -7. And I am going with the Saints +5. Those are all my picks. I appreciate all of you. We're going to have some questions. I'll answer some questions right now. What questions do you guys have really quickly before I head out for the day? Snowmageddon is coming. The winter is here. We're all going to die. It should be a lot of fun. Dog sledding, we don't have any dogs, so we're definitely not going to go dog sledding. We definitely have milk and bread. We're good set. We got all the beer. We got lots of different beer in the house. I'm not sure. No particular situations. I really do think the Titans can win this game. I think the Titans can win this game. I think that the Patriots are susceptible here Brady has thrown 6 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in his last 5 games. He's the only quarterback to have thrown an interception in the final 5 games of the season. I think he's kind of getting caught up by his age. And also, I just don't think the Patriots have a dynamic run attack. Doesn't mean they're going to, not going to beat the Titans by 20. Just means that they are beatable. I think they're a little bit overrated here. I really do. No, the Titans cannot cover Gronk, which is why they need to put Marcus Mariota in the shotgun from the minute this game begins and plan on needing to score 30. They need to get into a little bit of a shootout, I think, with the Patriots, because I don't think they're going to be able to hold the Patriots to 21 points like they held the Chiefs to 21 points. And certainly the Titans can't spot the Patriots with a 21-3 lead. They need to pound Derrick Henry. They need to give him 25 carries or more. But they also need to give Marcus Mariota chances to make plays, be aggressive in the play calling, try to push the ball down the field, and roll that way. All right. Love all of you. I appreciate all the support. Thank you for coming and hanging out with Outkick. My name is Clay Travis. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern, nearly 300 a.m. FM stations, Sirius 218, XM 202. Download the podcast as well. I love all of you. Big snowfall coming. Pray for the city of Nashville. I'll see you tomorrow.